was born in Kent and then you live in London, Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say about Chorlton, about Manchester? What do you like about Manchester? For how long have you been here? What do you think that is special here in our neighbourhood?
I think Manchester, I've been in Manchester since 1976, so I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else. And of course it's changed massively over that period. I didn't initially live in Chorlton, I initially lived in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
But when I had children, I didn't want them being educated in a selective schooling system, so I moved a mile and a half away into Chorlton, which was quite an ordinary kind of mixed neighbourhood at that time. It certainly wasn't as an expensive place to live as it is now. And over the years, we involved in things in the city centre, but also across Manchester and Greater Manchester, in lots of different ways. I think Manchester is a stimulating place because it is so varied. And I know there's a huge emphasis on the Tony Wilson and post-Tony Wilson creative music scene. But the music scene in Manchester predates Tony Wilson and all of the factory records things. There was a really lively music club-based scene in the 1970s. And a lively jazz scene. There's always been a jazz scene and a theatre scene. And when I moved to Manchester and friends used to come and visit me, they used to say, well, it's a bit like London, but everything's within walking distance. So it had all the, even then, when there was, the city centre was more or less closed on at 5:30 on a Friday night. There wasn't much going on except in the clubs and bars and so on. But even then, it had such a varied cultural life, as well as being progressive in terms of political solidarity groups. So the Nicaraguan Solidarity Group, the Cuban Solidarity Group, which I chaired for many years. It was all extremely lively in Manchester, which made it a stimulating place to live in and to be young in, and differently to have a family in. Because I think, certainly in my case, my engagement with the city and with the neighbourhood has changed over the different life stages. So it's different when you have a family from when you are single.
And why it's still attractive in nowadays?